All right, so I think we're ready to go. So for those of you who are joining us, most probably you're going to be watching this back as a recording. Maybe you're in part of Unlocking the Potential. Maybe you're one of Joe's customers. Maybe you're another hairdresser. Maybe you're somebody who's been interested to find out how the True Science products work. And so welcome. I have with me, my name is Lisa Panton. I'm a distributor with LifeVantage. I'm based out of Huddersfield in West Yorkshire, and I've been with them for about 5 years nearly now. And with me, I have a very special guest this evening. This is my friend and business partner, Joe Lewis, who is a hairdresser of how many years? I don't even think you want to say, but go on, tell them.
Over 40.
Of over 40 years. Joe is my hairdresser. I know her from a previous business that we were working on together in, and is an incredible hairdresser, has a salon in Halifax. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to, in a short while, I'll introduce you to Joe and she can share a little bit about her long experience and expertise in the industry. We're also going to talk about how and why she became a LifeVantage distributor. But most importantly, Joe has some amazing results, like before and after results of people who have been using the product and seen the most incredible results, and some before and after pictures that you've managed to take as well. So we're going to have, Joe's going to walk us through them, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how you recommend people to use it. And that's it. If there's anything else after you've watched this, and there's still questions that we haven't answered, please go ahead and ask us, or if it's in the group, comment in below and ask those questions there. You can tag me or you can tag Joanne Lewis in there, and we'll try and help you the best we can, or get back to the person who actually sent you this video to watch so they can help and guide you with the right answers. So diving in, Joe, share with everybody, just because I want people to understand, it's all right me as a distributor saying, oh my gosh, we've got this amazing hair care system. And although I spent 12 years in the health and beauty industry, I'm not a hairdresser. And sometimes people are looking for the expert to stand up and give their opinion. So share with us a little bit about your background and experience as a hairdresser.
Okay, I've been in the industry over 40 years. I come from a family background where my grandma and granddad were hairdressers, my mum, and I'm the third generation. Learning is always my passion, and discovering things also is something that I'm always looking for, new things, always looking to enhance myself, always looking to look for other opportunities regarding different products. And I'm always sort of, I've been a competition winner, I've been national winner in hairdressing. Last year I learned something that I never thought I would learn, which was micropigmentation, which was something all to do with the scalp and giving the illusion of hair thickening or hair looking as though the hair's growing. That was quite a challenge because that was something completely different to what I've normally done. And then in the course of all this, LifeVantage, I was asked to go with Lisa to their opening of the hair care system, True Science. So we went to the opening of it, which I was quite skeptical over it because obviously lots of things come out and you're always thinking, yeah, whatever. Anyway, and until I decided to do my own case studies, then I have got the passion for it, because honestly, it's a game changer in hair care in particular. So yeah, I'm just one for looking. I'm always looking for new things, always being creative in what I'm doing. So yeah, this is me.
I mean, you go to like Vegas and to Spain and all over the place doing new training courses and
Yeah.
conventions and in the hair industry and stuff like that. So you're somebody who's continually learned and reinvented and kept up to date, because it's an industry that moves really fast as well, a lot like the beauty industry. So I'm excited, and maybe we'll actually answer that at the end. I was going to ask a couple of questions of maybe, you know, why a hairdresser would be interested in something like that, but I think we'll do that towards the end. It's very daunting. I'm a very confident person. Anybody who knows me kind of already knows that, but I am quite confident, and I worked in the health and beauty industry, and I worked in the business development side of that industry. So for me to come and approach you, I was quite confident, because I was also very confident in what we had. But I think if you're approaching somebody who's as experienced as you are and you're not in that industry, it can be quite hard for them, number one, to respect you bringing something to them, because they know a lot less than you. But it can also be quite nerve-wracking for them, because you're the expert, you know. So maybe we can chat a little bit about that at the end as well, because I'm sure there are people who have questions. Maybe they're hairdressers themselves, or maybe they're people that know hairdressers and they're not sure what to say or do. So, but before we do that, I'm quite aware that there's going to be some people watching this that have no idea what we're talking about. Number one, when we talk about Nrf2, and number two, when we talk about Nrf2 activated hair care. So I've got some slides that'll just go over the very basics of helping people understand that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I want to keep this nice and short. But in every cell of your body, there's a protein, and its abbreviation is Nrf2, the nuclear respiratory factor 2, but we call it Nrf2. It's a little protein. It lives in every cell of your body, and if you activate it, it has the ability to switch back on your body's ability to create the enzymes it used to create when you were a lot younger in life, that prevented you from aging and corrosion and degeneration. So when we talk about Nrf2, there is two things we mean. There's the Nrf2 pathway, which is the protein that lives in every cell of your body. And then there's our product, which are Nrf2 activators. And our Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer supplement that you see here is actually the first product that Joe came across before we ever had hair care, right? And what this product does is it switches back on this little gene that activates the Nrf2 pathway. Oh, sorry, I should rephrase that. It activates, when you take this product, it's clinically proven with 26 peer-reviewed published clinical studies to activate the Nrf2 pathway. When you do that, it does it through 5 natural ingredients. It is not the ingredients that are in there that make the difference. It's the actual patented amount of each one in a synergistic blend that has the switch effect and switches back on or activates this Nrf2 protein in your cells. Once you activate the Nrf2 protein, it is shown to be able to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Oxidative stress is the #1 cause of aging, and it is also the #1 cause of just about any form of degenerative health challenge we're ever going to have. So being able to reduce oxidative stress by 40% is of massive benefit to our bodies and our cellular health. It also has been shown to increase superoxide dismutase, which is it's actually been called the #1 anti-aging enzyme in your body. It's also shown to increase catalase, which is another anti-aging enzyme in your body. And it's also been shown to increase something called glutathione, essential for growth and repair in your body and recovery, by up to 300%. So actually having your body produce its own. It's not something you can really take your body doesn't metabolize it well, but your body's own production of it is incredibly important to the health of your cells in your body. So that helps to support your natural ability to rejuvenate and repair your own body's cells. And it also helps support the body's natural detoxification process. And as a result of that, we have found that it has multiple benefits to you. The 3 that we are allowed to talk about openly, because they're not a disease or anything that's, you know, we're not licensed to be recommending for, is that we see massive increase in natural energy. The whole nation, let's face it, is energy deficient. We're a nation living on caffeine and Red Bull. And so to be able to boost your body's own energy naturally is super important. But also the other thing that we see is a massive increase in sleep. And I honestly believe that sleep is the one thing that you can do for your health to really take care of yourself. Because if you can sleep well, your body automatically starts to be able to function better. And the other thing that we've noticed is that people have reported a massive reduction in the amount of aches and pains that they're feeling. So we love Nrf2, do we not, Joanne Lewis?
Yes, we do.
It is amazing. I introduced you to this product first. And it was this product that you actually really fell in love with.
Yeah. So
before we go into hair care, just share with me, sorry, just moving this around a minute. Just share with me, what did you notice after, because I know in the beginning you were like, well, I'll try the product because I have to know that it's, you know, works and that something I can get behind. So you started taking Nrf2, and what did you notice personally with it? Because when I started taking it, I thought, oh, I'll give it a go, but I'm not expecting it to do anything. I'll have to admit that was what I thought. Boy, was I wrong, but I know that was my perception.
Well, when I started taking it, or should I say, the reason why I wanted to take it was about my well-being, because I'm a really good believer in whatever we put into our bodies shows on the outside. So whatever we eat, whatever it may be, it's what we fuel, and then it shows on the outside. So I was open to try and I was wanting to look after my body. And so I did the benefits. I noticed immediately sleep, because every time I went home, I would like be really tired because I'm so busy and 100 miles an hour in the salon. And when I'd get home, I'd just be like zonked out. And I did notice that I was sleeping better. So I wasn't sleeping on the settee. I'd go to bed and my sleep was like a proper sleep. I wasn't waking up. So therefore in the morning, I was a lot fresher. And then the other thing was my energy. And I also started running, and I noticed regarding my running, I wasn't getting them aches and pains after a run, and that's your I can't say it,
glutathione repair and recovery.
Yeah. It was that, and I even commented on that, because I says, oh, I'm running, but I'm not feeling achy. And then the other thing that I noticed as well is in my sort of joint here, I used to get a lot of aches and pains in my joint, and it just sort of was the repetitive strain of it. And now, it's like, because this is my hand and it's just like a repetitive strain, but we're more in here. And I would say probably maybe after 6 months, something like that, I sort of thought, oh, I ain't got the pain. And it would always strike up like holiday times when I was like super busy, or Christmas, and I'd get a real ache in my joints. And but yeah, I still take it, but I haven't got any pain. So for me, they were the evidence of like something that I could notice myself. Mm-hmm. And especially with my my well-being, that I feel good in myself. My skin also was like, looks a lot more fresher. Yeah, and I just feel there isn't another word that I can explain as opposed to saying well. I feel well.
Yeah, awesome. And so you can imagine how excited I was when I heard that they were going to be launching a hair care range that also was activated by Nrf2 ingredients, or had Nrf2 activating technology inside it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you were excited, but we were also both kind of, well, we're excited, but how is it going to work? Is it going to do something? How good will it be? So we did then launch, obviously, the hair care, and you were very good at finding some results, or finding some clients that you could recommend it to and work with to really see how the results panned out. So just so people are aware, as we're talking through this, the True Science hair care system is the only hair care system that we're aware of that is activated or has Nrf2 activating ingredients or technology inside it. So when you use it, you're not only having the Nrf2 in the supplement working from the inside out, you're now working through the outside in, not just only through the hair, but also in the scalp as well. It's a 3-stage process. So it's a shampoo, a conditioner, and a scalp treatment. And you use them very simply and plainly in the way that you would any other product, except for the serum, which we'll explain a little bit more at the end on getting the best results with it. The company had already done studies to show the benefits of using the product. So the benefits of using the product in a consumer study that was only 8 days long, by the way. So it's not very long. It showed 58% less hair breakage, 44% increased shine, 39% increased volume. I know you saw a lot with increased volume. 51% said they saw a reduction in scalp dryness, and 39% said their reduction in damaged hair, so the frizziness of their hair as well. But let's move on to some real life testimonials. I'm going to see if I can blow the screen up so it's bigger. There we go. So actually, 1 second. I just needed to move this up to that corner because otherwise they won't be able to see the entire picture on the recording. There we go. So walk us through this client, and we've got, I think, 5 or 6 examples to show people, but show them maybe a little bit about what the client was, you know, concerned with, what products they used, and for how long. It says 6 months obviously on there, but go ahead, share.
Right, this is a gentleman, one of my clients, and he's in his late 30s, maybe early 40s, something like that. And to the left of the picture, 2018, before then, he was starting to be more conscious of thinning on his crown. Anyway, we'd been to the launch in the September, so I suggested for him just to try it and be like a case study for me, which he did. And over the period of time, what he noticed was, as you can see on the right hand side, his hair started to become more denser and creating more thickness, which then gave him more volume head of hair. So for him, that gave him a lot more confidence. And also he was like he said, he was having a few more good hair days. So I was really pleased with that, because it's like when you're using this product, it's not a couple of weeks fix, it's not a month's fix. You need to use the regime, and you need to give it the time and trust the process.
So this client was also using the Nrf2 activation supplementation.
Yeah.
So he was using the Nrf2 activator that you take, and he was using the 3-step process for the hair care system.
Yeah.
So do you know how often he was using it at all?
Well, he uses it every day because he goes to the gym, and so as most guys, wash their hair every day. And what's really more important, one of the things that you need to be aware of, you need to use the system. You know, don't just use the shampoo and forget the conditioner, or use the shampoo and just the conditioner and not the serum. You have to use the whole system for it to work. And it's like I say, it's like baking a cake and not putting the eggs in, or, you know, not putting the flour in and just mixing stuff up. You need a recipe, and this is the recipe that you need to follow.
Yeah. So this is amazing. Obviously, the appearance and thickness and fullness in his hair has definitely improved, and that's just 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another one. When I looked at this, I couldn't tell really what the difference is, but once you explained it, it really stood out to me. The left one here is the before, if I'm not mistaken, and the one on the right is the after.
Yeah, and if you look at it on the left, you'll notice that the crown, the hair is, you can see more of the scalp, and it's more see-through. And on the right, you can see it's definitely a lot more thicker, plumper. It's actually got spring at the root, so therefore it gives that effect of the hair being thicker and bouncier. And this lady, she's in her 70s, and it's a common thing, you know, sort of in your 70s, where in ladies they can get premature balding. And so with this, it really has given her a confidence. And at first she was like, oh, Joe, do you think there's any, you know, can you see anything? And I said, again, I'm saying, trust the process. And this is about 4 months, about 4 months. But this lady she hasn't used the Nrf2. She's just used it as a hair care system.
Interesting. So she's just using the 3-step process: the shampoo, the conditioner, and the scalp serum.
Mm-hmm. And she used to use a product of ours called the Alterna, which is an American product. And that had a stimulant in the Alterna for the roots. But she never got the effect as like what she's got with True Science Nrf2. She just hasn't. And it's just great to see her, because she feels just giving her a confidence.
Yeah, you can definitely see the appearance of the fullness and the thickness is definitely, it's more hair, and it's like you said, it looks stronger from the roots.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's really exciting. This is another one. This is just 4 months before and after. And I must admit, I found this one quite difficult just looking at the picture until you explained it. And then I was like, wow, actually, that is quite a difference.
Yeah, well, I'm really impressed with this. This is again another one of my clients, and he's been coming to me now for about 3 years, and we were noticing that he was starting to become a lot finer, and his hair texture was changing. And again, I just says, look, why don't you just try it? You know, just give it 6 months, maybe just give it a year, and you know, see what you think. And he was like a little bit skeptic over it. So this guy, he ended up where he decided to invest in the Nrf2. Mm-hmm. And he did the regime. And as you can see on the crown, so on the left-hand side is after the 4 months, and on the right-hand side is before he used it. And as you can see on the crown area, he started to go a lot thinner, and you can see his scalp. So over the period of time, honestly, his hair has just changed so much, and the picture doesn't really give it justice, really. And what we found is that it's definitely made the cuticle a lot more stronger and more dense. So therefore, it's covering a lot more of the area, so his scalp isn't showing through. And again, his hair's so much stronger. And yeah, and he's got a nice, you know, he can create a style to his hair, as before it was just quite flat and just sort of sticking to his scalp. And also what we've noticed when people have been using it, that their scalp becomes opaque and it's really clean, instead of being maybe red and angry, maybe sometimes with, if they're quite greasy, if they've got a greasy scalp or whatever.
Or dry.
Yeah, or dry, yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely see that, because where it starts on the left-hand side, where it starts at the back to come forward, you can see on the before picture there wasn't enough hair to be able to really do that, was there?
No.
Yeah, I totally get that. So that's amazing. So he was taking the Nrf2 and using the 3-step system.
Yeah, and we would have done a 6 months, which we will be doing when I do see him. But unfortunately, lockdown sort of stopped me from doing that.
Pandemic, how rude, got in the way. Which is another interesting point as a hairdresser, which we should talk a little bit about that after, actually. I know every time you've seen this picture that I've seen you, because we did record this yesterday, but it didn't record. And I know when you talk about this before and after, you're just light up, because I know you're just so delighted with the results. So share a little bit about this one. This top one looks like the hair's quite greasy. Is it, or is it just that it's very fine?
It's very, very, very fine. And yeah, a scalp is quite oily. But this for me this made me just believe so much in the product, because I could see it with my own eyes, and I can't tell you how this has made her feel. She was supposed to be, her son was supposed to be getting married in June, and obviously it's not happening. So at Christmas time, we'd been talking. In fact, she started in October, actually. And I said, again, please try it. You know, let's just give it a whirl and let's work towards June and the wedding, and let's see where your hair's going to be. Anyway, so she's decided to take the Nrf2 as well and work with the hair care system. And this is after 4 months. And oh my God, I can't tell you how excited I am, because when I see her next time, it's even going to be better. And if you look at the bottom of the pictures, you'll see, and I haven't worked at this hair at all, but you can physically see the difference of the hair strand. And what happens is from the top section of the hair, it becomes the same density. So it's exactly the same at the root to where it is at the ends. So it's creating that dense look on the shaft of the hair, and it's making the hair stronger. And if again you look at it and you look at the bottom picture, right hand picture, you can see the hair actually pushing up. It's like springing up from the root, as apart from the top. It's very flat, it's very heavy, and yeah, there's no, it's just
it's also frizzy and very fine and broken looking at the ends.
Yeah. And with that, the bottom, it's just unbelievable. So for me, this was the game changer of it. And if I'm recommending anything, this is the photograph, because this is the massive change. And not only that, when she comes in and now she's getting her hair longer, and she never thought that she would ever be able to get her hair longer, because that was another thing, is that her ends were snapping. And that was, it could have been where it was hormonal. It could have been where, if she's gone through the change and your hair does change, it could have been maybe a thyroid, because thyroid can, you know, make your hair, just change your hair completely. But it's like she was saying, she suffered from her hair being horrible for quite some time. And this is for me the game changer in the hair care system completely.
The scalp also looks very different colour on the...
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Your scalp is supposed to be like opaque. So, but at the top, it looks inflamed. It looks angry. It looks oily. So the serum is the one that will balance the scalp, pH, and it'll just like calm it down. And it actually feeds the hair follicle and making the hair follicle stronger.
Which is where the cells that produce your hair are.
Yeah.
I know that from my years in beauty. Okay, so I love this one. This really good picture. This is also a really good one as well.
Yeah. Well, this is a young man, and he is actually my son's friend. So he's actually 26 now. And he started going thinner when he was in his 20s, sort of like, well, actually probably from about 18, 19. And what I did here was I actually bought him the product, and I went, right, you have to use this. And I got him on the Nrf2 as well, and I went, you have to use this, because this is going to be a game changer in how this is going to make you feel. Because he was feeling very depressed about his hair. He even shaved it off at one time, and he sort of lost his confidence, you know. And like I say, he's a young man of 26. So this is probably about 5 months, something like that. And again, I asked him to trust the process. At first, he was like, "Oh yeah, whatever, Joe." And I said, "No, please trust the process."
This is not the back of his head, is it? Because I originally thought
he's just got his head. He's just bowed his head down.
Yeah.
So it's from the top. So the top left is before we started, and then this is after about 5 months. And if I could show you his smile of how it's made him feel, and for me, when I see him, and he holds himself tall because he feels more confident, and he don't feel as though people are looking at his head. And he actually said to me one time, he says, "Oh, Joe," he says, "I feel so embarrassed because when I go down the stairs and my girlfriend can see the top of my head, it makes him feel conscious." And like now he'll actually say, "Oh, I feel good about myself." And he also was another one that said, "Do you know, I've got a lot more good hair days now than what I've ever had." So that really makes me so happy. And obviously I treat him for the first lot, but he buys it, and he is an advocate for Nrf2 as well.
It looks like there's the appearance of a lot of new hair. Hair, like new baby hair that's just starting to come out.
Like little fluffiness on the crown. And that's something else that we've noticed. It has encouraged growth. It's not to say that
healthy hair growth.
Sorry?
Healthy hair growth.
Yeah, healthy hair growth, because sometimes we have little sleepy ones that don't come through, and then with any form of stimulation they will flourish.
Wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that. So you can have dormant. Inactive. Everything's already there, but it's kind of like dormant, and you can actually wake it up and stimulate it. Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't realize that. This one is really good, I have to say. And by the way, so go ahead, go on.
So this is another gentleman. He's in his, again, sort of 40s, early 40s. Has his hair texture started to change. He was quite thick, and then his hair started to sort of thin. And again, I sort of like coached him into trying it. And again, he uses the Nrf2. And what we've noticed, and this was over about, again, a 5-month period, because you don't notice anything straight away. And it's, even though we take the photographs after each month, sometimes you think, oh, there's nothing happening. And then it isn't until maybe the 3rd and the 4th month, but they can feel the difference. They feel the difference with their hair and their hair structure.
And their hands, and they're feeling
it. Feel it, yeah. And also they can feel the, like when you have got any form of growth going, or when you've like shaved your head off, and you can feel when it grows, you can feel the hair sort of underneath. And he's really delighted. but he's an advocate for it, and he's actually recommended it for a couple of his friends. And blokes are really funny because they don't want to share things because they feel quite, it's still like a bit of a taboo, really. And because I was saying, oh, you know, tell your mates, and he's going, I can't. He says, I can't say they're bald, and I just went, well, they're not bald. I says, it's just that their hair's changing. So I says, at the end of the day, if you sort of talk to them and just encourage them with using products, it can make the hair feel thicker, and that's really what this product is doing.
Absolutely. And I know quite a few of your customers are sending people to you and referring other people.
Yeah, they are.
On the results that they've had.
And it's like, that's because once I like I said to you earlier on, I do the micropigmentation, and with that, I've noticed I actually recommend the True Science first before I go on to the micropigmentation, because I think if you can create it more naturally, then that's, for me, that's so much better. And I think once you can have your hair and make your hair do what it should do, then that's more about how it makes you feel than the micropigmentation, which maybe some of the guys, you know, shave their hair off. So for me, I would always recommend this first.
So just to recap, actually there should be 4 products on this slide, but the hair care system itself is 3 products. And so how often, because somebody that I know would ask me this morning actually, and I gave my own opinion of it, but just asking you as a professional, how should they use the system, and how often should they be using it? What do you normally recommend to, because you're obviously getting great results, but if somebody goes home and uses it once a month and doesn't use it properly, they're not going to get the right results. So what is it that you actually recommend?
Right. Well, first of all, I get the products in front of them and I explain what to do. And with the shampoo, it's completely different to any normal shampoo. It's very, very runny. So therefore, I ask them just to put a little pinprick in the top of the foil. So don't take the foil off, just put a pinprick in, and then thoroughly wet the hair. Don't just like, you know, just put a little bit of water on, like loads of water. And then put this in your hand and then massage it in. What you will find with it, it will not lather up straight away. And you must know that, Lisa, when you've been using it, okay? And you've got tons of hair. So do a second shampoo.
It doesn't have lauryl sulfate and the normal
parabens,
foaming agents in, doesn't it? It's a clean product.
And that's why it doesn't lather up. It's not got any metallic salts in. It's clean. And actually, there is an app called Think Dirty, and this rates. I think is it 2.
They're all 2 or under.
Yeah,
I think that's 2, and the other 2 come as a score as a 1.
As 1.
So for those of you that don't know what Think Dirty is, it's an app you can download on your phone. And you can literally go around your house and put the name of everyday cosmetics and body lotions, shampoos, skincare products that you use into the app. And on a scale of 1 to 10, it will tell you how toxic they are. We'll do another like explanation of using the app in another day, so people can learn how to use it. They'll be quite surprised. I know I was. So 0 is super clean. There's hardly any preservatives, colors, fragrance, parabens, all those unnecessary, maybe more harmful ingredients in there that aren't necessary. And 10 is full strength, everything in. So these score, I think that's 2, and the other 2 score as a 1. So really low, very clean, which is what people are looking for more so than ever, is clean products that are healthier to use. And so these definitely fit the bill with that as well. So the shampoo, and then they just rinse it off straight away after they've lasted.
Just give it a really good rinse. Some people will wash the hair twice, and what I find is when I'm washing mine, it lathers up a little bit more when it's washed twice, but I like washing my hair twice anyway. And then when you're using the conditioner, you only need a little bit. Yeah. And you will find you'll replace this first.
Yeah.
This. You'll get this, 2 of them to 1 of them. That's what you'll get.
That's such a good point, because I have very long, thick hair. And I've got very dry, frizzy, if I'm not careful. This stuff has done amazing things for my hair. It used to be really curly and I lost it. And since I started using it again, it's not naturally curly now because I've put a curling iron through it. But when I leave it, when I was like 16, 17 and I left it, I used to have ringlets. And then as I got older, that kind of left and it was kind of frizzy and not really curly and not really, like, it was just in between. But since I've been doing this, the curls, when I leave it to naturally air dry, they just spring back up again. And the condition, the condition of my hair, honestly, and grown. I mean, look how long it is.
I know.
And thick. It's just so much different to what it was. Honestly, it's grown like weeds. But because I'm really funny about conditioner, I can tell, and you probably know this as a hairdresser, I'm a conditioner snob. So I can tell once I've put the conditioner on and put it through my hair, I can tell before as I start to rinse it off how nice it's going to be. Depending on how it leaves my hair feeling. And I would go through way more conditioner always than shampoo, and it's always more expensive, the conditioner. But you're right, and I hadn't realized that till now. The shampoo actually goes quicker, and I literally, for my hair, used to use a big handful. I literally probably use a 10p piece, and that is plenty on my length hair.
And the guys, if you wanted to say, is a 5p piece. So yeah, definitely. So that is little.
Now, do you recommend they put it on, or do you put it on, comb it through? Like, what's the suggestion, or does it depend on the hair type?
It depends on the hair type. The guys, you know, they'll just put it on, rinse it off. They want easy peasy, you know, quick, out at shower, jobs are good. But women, they might take a little bit more time. If they've got longer hair, they'll have to like comb it through or put your fingers through, so it deknots it. But that's another thing. When you're actually washing your hair, don't agitate it. Just sort of massage it and use your fingers to sort of separate it like that. Because the more friction that you give it, the more entangled it becomes. And the same with the conditioner. You pop it on, start from the bottom, and then you work up to the top. Don't put it all on the top. That's the same with the shampoo. Don't target the top section because you'll overweight everything. So put it in your hands and then massage it through and do it that way.
Yeah, I kind of put it in like this, and then I'll sometimes get a comb and just on my fingers, and just once it's softened, I'll just pull it through.
Yeah.
But if they've got fine hair, they might just want to put it on the end.
Sort of the ends to the middles and hardly anything at the root.
But if you've got much drier, coarser, frizzier hair, you probably get away with putting.
But you'd still start from the middles and ends.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you just like take it through to the root. Otherwise, it becomes too heavy. You know, the product becomes too heavy for the hair. So that would be with anything. So
and that's the one that's really helping to restructure the cuticle and the hair shaft and make that even thickness rather than thinning out towards the end, which is obviously then why it breaks, right? I would imagine.
But it's the magic one. Without this,
wash, condition, dry and style as normal, or leave it dry, whatever you normally do.
Yeah, or you can pop it on when your hair's damp. Most of my clients, that's what they do, apart from in the evening, which then they put it on dry.
But very clear, because this is not for your hair. This is for your scalp.
And I'm just going to take the top off. And if you can see, it's just like a little pencil, sort of like a little
nozzle.
topping. And what you do is you just squeeze it and draw it onto your scalp. So on the areas, just take it like that and like that. And then you massage it in. You need to massage it. So wherever the area is, if it's round here, if it's on the top, or if it's sort of round, you know, behind your ears, or if you want to put a little bit on your fingers, like there's a little bit there, okay? And then pop it in at the root.
Awesome.
And it smells absolutely lovely because it's peppermint and thyme, and it smells really fresh. So this in the morning and also at night, but don't put too much on.
All right, so you're suggesting the scalp serum twice a day?
I am suggesting it twice a day, because then at nighttime, it helps to sort of penetrate into the scalp and go right down into the cuticle, into the papilla, which is the root of the hair.
We'll show that diagram because that'll help people understand. So, okay, so do you recommend using the whole system every day? What if somebody only normally washes their hair twice a week?
That's fine. It's the serum that needs to be used every day.
Okay, so if somebody washes their hair every day, they could use it every day. But if they only wash their hair twice a week, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But the serum, you're still saying no matter how often you wash your hair, put that on morning and night or twice a day.
Yeah.
Got it.
And if someone says to you, I'm finding my hair to be greasy, then what they're doing is they're putting too much on. So they're overloading it. Less is more.
Okay. Fantastic. I know personally, after I had Joe, that my hairline thinned out so much. And it did after having all of my kids, to be honest with you.
Which does in a woman.
Yeah. And I'd literally, with the other two, I could literally find clumps of it on the floor when I was vacuuming up. It was just filling the vacuum. It used to fall out and shed so much. But my hairline, when I had the other two, I was younger, so probably like mid-20s, late 20s when I had my eldest two. But when I had Jojo, I was 39. So a lot later in life, and probably not as easy to bounce back. And what I found was that here in my hairline,
yeah, I can see
it came, but it was literally all the way. This is all new hair.
Yeah.
So you can see where it's shorter here.
Yeah.
I was literally had no hair all the way back to here. And then I started taking Protandim, and I had lots of, you know, the supplement, and I started having a lot of wispy baby hairs, but I couldn't put my hair up, because if I put my hair up, I had these big, really uneven hairline, and I was always trying to cover it up. But now I use I always use the shampoo and conditioner. Whenever I wash and do my hair, that's all I ever use. But I do use the hair serum, but I only use it kind of here, where it bothers me. And I just put a little bit every night. I must admit, I don't do twice a day, but I do before I go to bed at night. And I can't tell you, look, like if I show you.
I can see it.
Look at this. It's so long. Like this was like there was nothing there. Look how much it's grown.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, honestly. So I personally am so grateful. Like, I know it still looks thin, but that was literally, there was nothing there, and nothing to pull over it either. So at least now there's all this new hair that's grown in. It's amazing. Amazing. So just very quickly, we were going to show this one. I don't even know if we have to, but we'll do it anyway. There's this one slide that explains kind of like, well, explain this diagram.
Right, so the follicle
As we
is your hair, and it goes down into it grows from the bottom where the bulb is at the bottom, which is your papilla, and your papilla is fed by your blood supply, Now then, if for any reason, you know, that becomes weak in any way, then the hair shaft, it affects the hair shaft, and that's what you've been seeing in the photos, especially with that lady that I'm blown away with. So what the product does is it goes into the follicle, and it actually does go down and penetrates down into the bulb of the hair, which is the papilla, and that then gives the strength of the hair shaft. And that's what's different about it, because the others don't penetrate right down. And like you were saying before, with the Nrf2, it's at a cellular level. So it's a form of a stimulation.
Yeah, and also, if you're taking the Nrf2, that's also working from the inside out in terms of getting through.
That's right.
Also, it's interesting because the sebaceous gland is basically the oil gland, the oil, and the oil slides up your hair shaft onto your skin, and that's what protects your skin or your scalp. So it makes sense that it has this ability to normalize the scalp from not being dry and not being oily, because if it's able to stimulate and activate the sebaceous gland, then that makes sense as well, doesn't it? And so the serum, you always suggest really massaging it in so it can get down, slide down these hair follicles and really get to the point what works, rather than just the products that are on the hair.
Yeah, they're not surfaced. They don't just sit on the surface of the hair. They actually go into the cuticle of the hair.
So exciting. So in closing, so I think we've covered everything. We've covered a little bit about you. We've covered a bit about the product range in very lay terms. I think enough for people to understand.
You don't want it to be too complicated.
No.
People, it just needs to be simple.
Most people just want to know what it's going to do for them, and I think we've kind of demonstrated that. We can't promise that anybody else is going to have the same result, because everybody's biologically unique. And not everybody's cells respond or are in a similar position or react the same, but this has obviously been your experience of it. And I think we've done a good point of showing that. The last thing I would say is, if there are other hairdressers watching this, and I know because I worked in the beauty industry for years, and if it wasn't a really good quality brand that I knew, I really wasn't usually interested. But what would you, let's just say they're looking at this and thinking, wow, this is interesting, you know, would it fit into my salon? What would be your advice to them be?
Well, my advice would be is try it, because at the end of the day, if they've got different products, like we have a product out here, which is the caviar range from Alterna. And this is, again, an anti-aging shampoo, and this is a root stimulant. Now, these products, as other hairdressers, will have something similar to this. Nioxin is another one. And they all cost quite they're a premium product, so they've got a price tag on them. And I would say, if you're using something like sort of them products and you're wanting to try something else, try True Science. Because True Science, hand on heart, has given me results. And honestly, I would not be an advocate for it or put my name on it at all if I hadn't seen the results myself. So for me, if other hairdressers are like, oh yeah, whatever, I get it, because I was one of them. And you know that when we went to the launch, and me and Gary were like, yeah, we've seen like loads of stuff.
Yeah, we've seen it all before.
Yeah, but when I came away, I just had that feeling about it, but I needed to see it myself, and hence I have. And you know, pictures, my clients, it's there, it's in real life. So I would say try it, you know, invest in it. Price wise, there's not that much difference between the prices. The whole price is 110 for for the system in the True Science. As with ours in the caviar, I think that's working out about 100, and I think it's about 105 or something like that. And that's
products.
For 2 products, yeah.
And you
so value, I believe True Science has got the value. And Nioxin, I'm not quite sure what Nioxin runs at, but definitely I would say to the other hairdressers, please try it.
So it's about just under £150 if they were going to use the Nrf2 activation and the 3-step hair care system together.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's delivered directly to your address, and you can put it on delivery to come whenever you want, etc. Actually, they would probably, well, they can talk about that separately anyway, but most people would take Pretandem every single month and then order the hair care as and when they need. Or
definitely, because like I said to you before, you're going to run out, they're all going to run out at different times, so you're not going to have that package each month. Or, you know, that system will definitely last you at least 4 months, at least, maybe 5 at least. So, and then one will run out before the other. So therefore the investment, and that's what a word I would say, you are investing in yourself. And once you can see how you look with your hair, it makes you feel good inside. It's all about this.
It's the way you feel.
You know, it's not just a hair care system, it's more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, well, I think that's everything. Is there anything that I've missed?
I don't think so.
Oh, I've got a good question. I'm going to throw you on the spot. Let's just say somebody listening to this isn't a hairdresser or a client looking at using the products, but they're another distributor and they know a hairdresser friend, but they're worried about approaching them because they know more about hairdressing than they do. What would you suggest that they do or say? Or how would they approach that person?
I would
just on this video, I would say.
Yeah, I know. I just say I've got something to share with you that is unique, and the reason why it's unique is because of the Nrf2. There isn't anything else. There is not anything on the market at all, anywhere. And for me, and in my own opinion, that should be shared, period.
With everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Right, well, I want to thank you so much for joining us, or me, this evening. And I am excited to for you to be able to share this, and for us to be able to share this and get the word out and get really people seeing what is the results and how amazing the product actually really is, and type of results that they can create with it. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Lisa.
And I will catch up with you, no doubt, very soon. As soon as you open, I think I'm going to need a bit of a touch up, a bit of taking care of myself. It's been a while.
Okay, love.
Well, I hope that things get back to normal and you're able to open up and start going back to regular business as soon as possible.
Well, I wouldn't say it's going to be regular. It's going to be very, very, very different. Because we're going to have to be opening on Sundays and Mondays as well. So and
get the amount of
because I mean, some of my clients have been, it's February, you know, since I've last done January and February. It's going to be tough, but and not only that, it's going to be tough with the legislations of what we've got to do, which isn't normal because we're tactile people and we've got to be very aware of spatial awareness as well. So it is going to be hard.
I'm sure we'll work it out one way or another. But anyway, you stay safe, and I'll see you soon.
All right, darling. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your results and your knowledge with everyone.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Bye, darling.